Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the new Jones Aviator 2.0. That's right, the Aviator's back and this is number 2.0. This board features good old-fashioned traditional camber, so from contact point to contact point, yeah, I got that arc of traditional camber. This is going to give you all the power, snap, drive, and pop from this deck. This board is available in 154, 158, 159 wide, and 162. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a gray sky day that turned into a blue sky day with cooler temperatures, little bit of wind, there was some chunderpow, there were fresh corduroy, there was a little dusting on top of the corduroy, there was some hot pow, there was ice. It was pretty much just a mix of all conditions, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This is definitely one of the stiffer boards out there in the all-mountain freestyle category. That's just the way it is. It's for who it's designed for. So once you realize it is definitely a stiffer deck, I mean, it's way past middle of the road, but it's not a full-blown free ride board. You get a slightly softer nose, then it progressively just stiffens back up through to the tail, and there's a little bit of torsional flex. Now, the big thing to note about this board is the stability. There is some kind of sorcery going on with this thing because it is one of the most lively boards I've been on, yet still crazy damp. That corroid core just dissipates any chatter. You don't really feel it underfoot until you get into super rutted out terrain that's just bucking you around. That's the only time you feel it. But when you're on a groomer and you're cruising Mach 10, there's no chatter underfoot. This is just a very, very stable ride that lets you just plow through everything in its path. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of those boards you don't have to worry about when you get out there and you're just trying to charge. As this board is full camber, if you don't load it up, you're not going to get shit for pop. This is a board that you want to push into and get it to rebound back out. And it is a little aggressive with how you have to load it, but what you put in, you get more than that back out of it. This is a board that really does excel at snapping off a roller, side hit, boosting just whatever you can find on the run. Now, when it comes to jumps, it's called the Aviator for a friggin' reason. It wants to get in the air. It sails through the air. Small, medium, large. It doesn't matter. It's not going to have a problem with any of it. This is a board for popping off the lip and just sending it when you want to. It's one of those boards that is fully at home riding any kind of transition and just popping. It just takes what the lip gives it and the load of the camber and gives you more. This thing is not fun to butter. Speed is your friend. You need to get your weight way out over the nose or way out over the tail, and you need to muscle it and manhandle it. It's one of those boards that, because it's true camber, because it's so stiff, you're putting all your weight out at that contact point, flexing that board, driving it in, and then getting it to do what you want. Speed is always going to be your friend in that situation. If you're one of those weak-ass people that just leans back on your tail and calls that a butter, you might be able to do that if you sit on the damn thing. That's how much effort you're going to put into it. And when it comes to jibbing, sure, yeah, you can jib with it. Speed. A lot of speed and understanding the flex points in the board and how to lock in are going to be key with this thing. It takes a lot to press it on the nose and the tail. And when you get sideways, it's one of those boards that borderline teeter-totters on the feature. It doesn't really cradle around it. It just sort of lets the camber sit there and then you slide with it. So, you know, that's really not what this board's for. I mean, that should be obvious with who rides it and how this thing's designed. But if you're gonna hit a jib, power, speed, praying to whatever deity you worship, all recommended with this. If you like to carve, now we're talking with this board. This is a deck that has clearly defined drive points. So you initiate the turn out at the contact point at the nose. Then you start to steer it outside the front foot through the middle, and then as you're gonna just drive it out of the carve and put all the power into it, pretty much from the middle back, more so towards the inside of that back foot. This is a deck that has a very smooth transition from edge to edge. You notice that it's very fluid, it's very nimble. But when it's on edge, there's a lot of power into it and you have to push into that board. You can't be sloppy with this thing. You need to give it your all and really take it to that next level. You're going to just put everything you can into it and it's going to slingshot you in and out of turns. It's going to lock in and hold it very well. Short, quick setup turns, yeah, it's got it. But what it really wants is ripping ass carves. It wants to leave a trench across the run from one side to the other and then back again. You want to get deep and low on this thing and lay it over? Go for it. Just put all your weight into it. Understand how to throw your hip into that turn and get it to engage. You're not doing a crazy amount of ankle steering because you're literally driving it outside the feet for the most part when you get it on edge. So don't expect that you can just be a little more laid back. You're bringing everything you've got to it. So who's this board for? The old school camber loving all mountain freestyle guy. You bitching and moaning that they don't make camber like they used to and something you can really drive and power into? Well, here you go. This is it right there. I know who's watching this review going, well, I don't know. No, you know you need it. Go buy it. It's always nice to go out and ride a full cambered board of this caliber. You can just let it rip and dig trenches. You're going to be able to pop off everything with ease. Still actually floats well in POW for being full camber. It's a little bit more of a leg workout than most people would probably want. Still good. This is a blast to ride. I had a field day with this thing, whether I was hitting the park, going up on the peak, trying to find POW, it really didn't matter. This thing just wants to cut through and plow through everything. And as I said earlier, there's some sorcery in this court for a board to be this lively yet this damp. It does such a great job of just dissipating all that energy at the tips that usually funnel back under your feet. Comparable boards, the Nitro Suprateam, the Rosinal Juggernaut. Binding recommendations, the Jones Mercury, the Ride A8, the Flux XF. This has been my review of the Jones Aviator. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Help support us, help us grow out what we're doing. I could explain it better over here, but I got a video over there that'll do it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.